So we kicked off this Flying Viper series with what is arguably the most beautiful snake on Earth. This is the Bothrops bilineata, also known as the two-striped forest pit viper. And these guys are beautiful. Coming in at number 2 on our list is the Bothrops erythromilus, also known as the Katanga Lancehead. This is the smallest viper on our list, but spunky nonetheless. The snake that holds our third spot on our list is the Bothrops alternatus, also known as the Urutu. These guys have an incredible pattern and get quite a bit bigger than the last snake on the list. And this brings us right up to the last lancehead we filmed, Bothrops barnetti. So all the snakes on this list, excluding the two-striped forest pit viper, are all grassland Bothrops species. These guys are not as toxic as the jungle variation of the lancehead, like the Bothrops asper or the terciopelago, or the Bothrops atrox, also known as the fer-de-lance. Those guys are toxic, but unfortunately, I don't have any of those to show you, but I have something a little bit better. In every crowd, there's the one guy who says, "What is the worst that can happen?" Just one bite from the viper I'm going to show you tonight can cause permanent blindness. Not only that, it can cause multiple brain hemorrhages simultaneously. If it bites you in the arm, you will probably have to have your arm amputated. If you get bit in the leg, it's also a high likelihood that you're going to lose your leg. This snake's venom can do multiple other things, and we will touch on those shortly. But you are about to meet the Martinique lancehead, also known as Bothrops lanceolatus. I do want to apologize if this footage is a little shaky. Halfway during filming this, I realized I'm probably catching the closest footage ever filmed of this species. Because this snake is extremely rare. It only inhabits one very small island. Not only that, it's extremely rare in captivity. There are a few people who keep them in Europe. And that's where this specimen came from. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and try to get this amazing snake out on the table so we can take a good look.
All venomous snake handling in this video is performed by a professional. Please don't try anything you're about to see at home.
So this right here is number 5 on the Flying Vipers. I don't know if you can get a close look of her, but this is the Martinique lancehead. You are not going to see this snake anywhere else on the internet. If you Google it right now, you're going to go to Wikipedia and see a preserved specimen. That's all you're going to see. This right here is a rare animal. It's only found on one island. Now, so far in this series, I have shown you grassland Bothrops. Those are a low humidity Bothrops for the most part. The alternatus and the erythromilus, or the Urutu, and the Katanga lancehead. This is an insular form. What's that mean? That means that this animal is found on the islands, on the island. So there's 4 insular forms. You have your golden lancehead that everybody knows. You have the Martinique, you have the St. Lucian, and then you have the Albarezi, I do believe. I might be getting that one wrong. That's the rarest, supposedly. I don't know. They're all super rare. So I can't keep a golden lancehead, but this snake is deadlier than a golden lancehead. It was once said that the golden lancehead, being an insular form of lancehead, is 5 times more toxic than any mainland variation. Bothrops asper, Bothrops atrox, those are the fer-de-lance and the terciopelago. Might be saying that wrong. That's how I've always said it. Just bear with me. Those, Google the bite right now if you can. I will leave a link in the description, possibly, if YouTube will let me. It is disgusting. It is a horrible bite. If I get bit by this snake tonight, I'll never post another YouTube video. I'll be done. It'll be over. It will never be the same. You don't recover from this bite. She's being a real sweetheart. She's just checking out her surroundings. She's cooling around that edge of that table. I don't necessarily like because if she's going to fall this way. But she is amazing. So this is the first. Ooh. It's okay, sweet girl. See if we can't get you back up there. Don't be getting moody. I'm trying to help. There you go. So this viper's fast if she wants to be. I'm going to stand up just in case. So this is the original fer-de-lance. This was the first described Lancehead. And this animal is crazy toxic. I do believe, if you want to debate on it, we can, but I think this is the deadliest of all Lanceheads. His snake holds the capability of killing a person the best. It's okay, sweetheart. Don't be getting grumpy. Don't be cocking back. It's okay. They're very punchy. She's being very good. I never expected it to go this good. But one bite from this snake is an ender. You know, if you want to compare this to the black-headed bushmaster, you can say the black-headed bushmaster statistically is deadlier. I don't believe it. I honestly don't believe it. I think this snake is much more dangerous. So that venom, like I said, can cause blindness. It can cause multiple brain hemorrhages. You have one brain hemorrhage and you're done. You're done for the rest of your, it's life-altering. Blindness, life-altering. If I got bit on the arm, I would probably lose my arm. If I got bit on the leg, I'd probably lose my leg. Not only that, it causes thrombosis. It's actually quite unique how this snake causes thrombosis, and I've been reading a lot on it. I still don't fully understand it, so I'm not going to try to pull the wool over your eyes. But from my understanding, thrombosis is the coagulation of major arteries and veins. So it coagulates a large area of blood in your body. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just not good. You know, blood clots are horrible. Blood clots will kill you. And then as this venom affects your brain, it just pop, 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 you know, just brain hemorrhages all over. Just horrible. But I want you to understand one thing. If I was the Discovery Channel, if I was Animal Planet, I'd probably be some guy being like, oh, this snake will kill everybody. This snake will follow you back home and kill your family and your dog. No, look at it. I'm talking soft. I don't want the vibrations to disturb her. I'm moving slow. I'm moving very little at all. But I'm within 4 foot of a 5-foot Bothrops, and she doesn't seem to care. Why? Because I'm afraid of her. She's afraid of me. It's mutual respect. If I know where she's at in the wild, I don't corner her, I don't poke her, I don't prod her. She's no more dangerous than a squirrel. I mean, let's think about it. She has no reason to come after me. She's not going to come after me. Her entire life is spent trying to stay away from people like me. Reptile people. No, people in general. Come on now. She is beautiful though. So you're not going to find these anywhere. The St. Lucian Lancehead is quite interesting. So they're kind of like the panda. They do have them at a couple zoos, but they're actually all out on loan. The St. Lucian government still technically owns them. Okay, the golden Lancehead can't even go on the island with the golden Lancehead, so you can't have the golden Lancehead. Some people pass off Bothrops. It was originally Columbiensis, which is now just still considered Atrox, a different locality of Atrox. They're kind of yellow in color, and people say, oh, this is a golden Lancehead. No, it's not. Atrox is not 5 times more toxic than Atrox. Insularis, the golden Lancehead, that's the toxic one. The insular forms, the 4 island forms, those are the toxic ones. They have a huge venom yield. Those grassland Bothrops I showed you, like the Urutu and the Katanga, or the Erythromilus, as I probably said 100 times in the video because I'm used to saying scientific names, they have a very small venom yield compared to this girl. This girl's one of the biggest Bothrops on Earth. She's still very small. She'll get a lot bigger. So imagine this at 8 foot long. And like I said, she's not fired up. She's a light switch. She's on and off. Right now she's off. She's hanging out. She's being friends. She's being your buddy at the bar. No big deal. But if I'm to poke and prod her and make her fear for her life, she will show me what she's all about. And if you've seen my other video, the Barnetti video, I forget what I called that video, but it was the Bothrops Barnetti. I'll leave it down in the link in the description, or I'll even put a card right here on this part of the video. She can do that. She can be just like that. Her strike span, a lot more intimidating. But they live in such a limited range, that tiny little island. If anything goes wrong on that island, if it gets hit by a tsunami, if a huge hurricane wipes through, it can decimate this species. This species will be gone forever. If that happens, I hope it never does. I hope it never comes to that. But if that happens, I think we should have them in captivity. I think in 40 years, I should be able to hold this snake out and be like, look, this is what a Lancehead look like. They no longer inhabit the Martinique island, but this is what they used to look like when they did. This is a beautiful specimen, and she'll grow a little bit bigger. How great is that? Now, she don't have a lot of protection unlike the pandas. She kind of has to protect herself because a lot of people don't get behind snakes that can kill you in multiple ways, which is a real shame because I strongly believe that every poison is also a medicine. Every poison can also be a cure, I think is the better way to say it. So there is a snake called Bothrops jararaca or Bothrops jararaca Sue. These are snakes that are kissing cousins to this beautiful girl. And those snakes, right now their venom is being used for high blood pressure medication. If you take high blood pressure medication, you are alive because of a cousin to this snake. It's a very feared snake. It's a very deadly snake. It's a very dangerous snake. But it saves more lives than it'll ever take. She could hold the cure to anything, and we don't know. Not much has been done. I shouldn't say that. Some has been done on the research of the venom of this snake. They do know a lot about it. But I don't think we can ever know enough. We're still isolating proteins and figuring new stuff out every day. When I was a little kid, all people talked about was hemotoxin and neurotoxin. Now we know it's a lot more complex than that. So this girl's very interesting. Hopefully I get some good close-up shots of her. I don't know if that's working out. I know right now you're like, well, I can barely see her. I know. I'm not going to push my luck. I'm not going to stress her out. I'm not going to stress me out. Only reason she's out today is because I need to clean her cage because she's shed and she's got little shed pieces everywhere. But she is beautiful. Now these guys, just like many of the Bothrops, are sexually dimorphic. And what that means is females get much larger than males. They also look different. Males are very ugly. They are just disgusting. They are brown and brown. They're just brown. And you're like, she's brown and brown. And I'm like, you're right. But she's a lighter brown and a darker brown. She just looks nicer, trust me. Plus she has these menacing red eyes. She has that beautiful subocular stripe, or the stripe right behind her eye. Very cool snake. Now, this snake right here has a specific antivenom. And since the specific antivenom has been introduced to the Martinique Island, snakebite victims have had a much higher survival rate. So if you was to ever come across such a beautiful animal in the wild, run. No, just stay away. Just back up slowly. Keep a good head on your shoulders. But if you was to take a bite, there is medical treatment. Now with that being said, the quicker you get there, the better it is. There was a story, I do believe, I hope I don't butcher this, I read it in the literature, about a 32-year-old woman who was walking, got bit. It took her like 3 days to get to the hospital. She didn't make it to the hospital for like 3 days. Permanent blindness. She's never going to be right mentally again. It just all the brain hemorrhaging. It was just very serious snake. Out of all the snakes in the world, this one I probably fear the most. And I'll be downright honest. The inland taipan, you can survive that bite. It is the most toxic snake on earth. Saw-scale viper is the deadliest snake on earth. It kills more people than any other snake. In theory, as far as we know, it doesn't scare me that much. This snake, I strongly believe that if you leave her alone, she'll leave you alone. If you don't push her, she won't push you. If you stay out of the way, but I'm a keeper. I have to go in there. I have to clean that cage. I have to push her past her limits. As you see, I'm being very gentle. I'm not bothering her more than I need to. But that's still, sometimes that's too much. So I know I'm rambling. If you tune out a little early, make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate it. We have plenty more videos coming along. Try to do little updates of her. Not only that, next week we have part 6 to the Flying Viper series. You thought I was done. Wrong. Wrong. How could I end it like this? This is a great ending. She is a perfect ending. Not really. We haven't got to see him feed yet. So next week, hopefully, if I get it done by next week, sometimes these edits take a little while, I'm going to feed all the snakes that we've touched on through the series, just so you can see them in action. I don't like pushing them past their point. You know, the Barnetti got there, unfortunately, but the second I opened the cage, he was already there. You know, it didn't take much for him. But, yeah, we'll feed them. We'll get to see how they react around food. They are food-aggressive little critters. Are you ready to go up? I've got to finish out your cage. I'll videotape me pulling her back out and putting her back inside her enclosure as good as I can. Right now she's going into the can. I'm redoing her enclosure because she has mowed down every plant she's ever had. It's your cage. You can do with it as you please, but I'm going to make it look pretty today. So let's go ahead and see how this goes. Hey, sweetie. Don't be jumpy. It's okay. So good. There you go, sweetheart. Come on. Whoops, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Tail's wrapped around the handle. Come on. There you go. Beautiful. There she is. There's the Martinique Lancehead. I don't know if that's focused at all. I'm very sorry if it's not. It's a very rare snake you're seeing right there. You're not going to see that anyplace else online. Maybe in the literature. You're a good girl. Man, you're perfect. Oh, you're big. You almost get out of the can. The Bushmaster's don't even get out of the can yet. Good girl. Thank you. Okay. One thing I can't remember if I spoke about or not is the fact that these guys actually came out of Europe. These were imported a while back, a good time ago. So, kind of interesting little factoid about them. Hey, sweetheart. So I have her enclosure all set up. I like it. I like the way it turned out. Water dish is right up front and center. That way I can get to it real easily. Hey there, big girl. So there she is. The Martinique Lancehead. Man, she's gorgeous. She's being so nice too. I'm so proud of her. Aren't you, big girl? So pretty. That whole tongue flick, it's actually a nervous sign on these guys. She's trying to figure everything out, figuring they're already nervous. Let me go ahead and put her away into this new enclosure. Here you go, sweetie. Here's your log with your lichen on it. Here's your fake plants and your water bowl and your clean mulch. She's like, I swear I left this place a bigger mess than this. What happened? Now, a lot of times when you go to put a Lancehead up like this, they actually get very perturbed. They feel cornered once they look around and realize they are kind of cornered. So, hopefully she don't spin around and act a little crazy. Move your little tail. There you go, sweetheart. You are beautiful. Good looking girl. I like them. I'm very pleased I get to work with them. They just make me a little bit nervous. I mean, she actually rode the hook great. She did wonderful. Very proud of her. You know, all the Lanceheads did very good this series. Only one that was a little bit of a handful was the Barnetti. But anyway, with that being said, like I said, tune back in next week. We're going to do some feeding, just so you can see what these guys are truly about. I won't do live feeding. That's not what I'm about on my channel. But we will be moving some frozen thawed around, and you'll get to see how hard these guys truly hit. So anyway, yet again, thank you for watching this. Make sure you subscribe, show all your friends. Have a wonderful night.